Well, let's take a look at creating a basic bot using the Azure Bot Service. So here I am in the Azure portal, and I'm going to create a new web app bot. And to do that, I'm going to just add a new resource to my account here. And I could go and find it. It's in the AI and Cognitive Services here. I could just go and simply search for bot. And in the results, there's a web app bot. So either way, we'll go and find that, and we're going to create one of these. So the first thing my bot needs is a name, and I'm going to call mine Shouty Bot. So Shouty Bot. And there's a few other things I've got to fill in here. I'm going to create a resource group for it, just so I can manage all the related resources together. I need to choose where I want to deploy that. So I'm just going to pick the data center that's nearest to me, which is actually the West US 2 data center. And I need to choose the pricing tier for this bot, and there's a number of pricing options available to me. I'm going to use the free one just because I'm going to test this out and play with it. And then I need to give it an app name. It's going to create an Azure web app to support this bot. So we have an app name there for it, which just takes the same name as the bot in this case. Now I'm going to choose the template on which I want to base my bot, and there's a number of different templates that you can use depending on the type of bot you want to build. We're going to build a very simple bot here, and we're just going to simply use the Node.js basic bot template. So we're going to generate some simple Node.js code to create a very simple bot. So we'll select that, and then we'll carry on setting up these settings. We need to set the service plan location. We need a service plan in order to pay for our bot. Now, obviously, I've chosen the free tier, so we won't be paying very much. But I still need to set up a service plan. So we'll set that up. And just to make life easy for myself, I'll put that in the same location as I put the bot itself. And then once I've done that, it's going to create a storage account to store some of the data that's used by the bot. It's automatically generated a name for that. I don't need to make any changes to that, so I'm happy with that. And then it's going to create some application insights so that I can track the usage of the bot. And again, what I have to specify is the location. And just to keep things easy, I'll put everything in the same location. So that's all the settings I need to create. I'll just go ahead and create my bot. And it will go and validate those settings and make sure that we're ready to go. And then once it's validated them, it's going to go off and start creating my bot. And then when deployment has succeeded, I get a little message here to say that my bot has been created. And if I go and have a look at the resource groups that I have in my Azure subscription, I can see they've got a resource group called Shouty Bot. And if I have a look in there, I can see all the different resources that are associated with my bot. So they're all going to be managed together in this resource group. And the bot itself is the first one listed here, Shouty Bot. So we'll go and take a look at that. And there's a number of pages here in this blade that I can use to go and configure and work with my bot. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this build page here. And what that will let me do is access an online code editor. Now I can edit the code from my bot online in the browser, or I could work with it locally using any IDE I like Visual Studio or something like that. And I can download the code as a zip file, and I can synchronize that. And I can even configure something called continuous deployment. So I could have my code in a source control system and synchronize that with the actual bot online. Just because this is a demo and it's nice and easy, I'm going to use the online code editor. So we'll open up that. And that takes me to this online environment. We currently don't have a README file. There was no README file created for this one. But what I can do is I can go and start looking at the code from my bot, which is in this app.js JavaScript file. So we're going to take a look at that. Now this obviously isn't a programming course, so we're not going to look in any huge detail at the code here. But there's some basic code that's been put together for me to work with my bot on the Microsoft Bot Framework. And here's the bit where the bot actually responds. Whenever we send in some sort of message, this is where the code to send the response is. And you can see it's very simple. It's just one function that just simply says, you said, and then it repeats back whatever it was that the user said to the bot. Now that's not terribly useful, so I'm going to make a slight modification to it just to prove that I can. This isn't really going to be any more useful, but at least we'll see it do something. So we're going to change that to 2 uppercase. And as I do that, you can see up here it says saved. It's automatically saving my work as I go. So what I've now done is I've written the code so that whenever I say something to the bot, it's going to shout it back to me in uppercase, which is why I called it ShoutyBot. So we've done that. We can now go and just close this code editor and go back to our bot in the Azure portal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this bot in web chat. So we'll just click Test in Web Chat. And when the bot is ready for me to test, I can just go and simply type a message. And I get my response from ShoutyBot shouted back in uppercase, hello. So you can see it's easy enough to create a very simple bot. I just simply create the settings in the Azure portal, and then I can make a minor modification to the code, and I'm getting back this custom message. And what I could do now is deploy this bot as a web bot on a web page for people to use. And I could see that if I look in channels, there is this web chat code here, and I can edit this channel here to get the secret keys and the code that I would require to embed that bot in a web page and make it available for people to use. So very simply put together a bot and deployed that using the Azure bot service.